Witch is a significant one in the Buffy lore. The characters and events are referenced at least once in every one of the 7 seasons. Interestingly, it also contains one of the few references to the not often spoken of movie. In 1992, Joss Whedon wrote the script for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. It contained most of the same lore you're now familiar with. Buffy, played by Kristine Swanson, is an airheaded teenage cheerleader at Henry High School when a mysterious man who calls himself a Watcher comes along and tells her she is the Slayer.
Does Elvis talk to you?
The director turned Whedon's story into a broad comedy.
Ooh, ah, ow, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ah.
Donald Sutherland kept changing and making up his own lines, and the movie was a critical flop. Also, Luke Perry.
Aziz, light!
Aziz, light.
Whedon went on to be one of the writers on Toy Story before he was approached with the idea of turning Buffy into a television series. The show and the movie are completely different in tone and intent, but there are a few minor connections between the two. Principal Moody mentions Buffy just transferred from Henry High.
Buffy Summers, sophomore, late of Henry High in Los Angeles.
And the show references how Buffy used to be a cheerleader at her former high school.
It was cheerleading.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're taking that up again. It'll keep you out of trouble.
In which, Buffy attempts to recapture some of her pre-Slayer life by trying out for the cheerleading squad at Sunnydale, much to the alarm of Giles.
Instead of which you enslave yourself to this cult?
You don't like the color?
She makes first alternate behind Cordelia and followed by Amy, a girl who seems under an enormous amount of pressure to follow in the footsteps of her mother's high school career. Meanwhile, Xander gives Buffy a romantic gift and passes it off as unintentionally so.
Yours, always.
It came that way, really. They all said that.
Over a bubbling cauldron of split pea, we hear someone curse Cordelia, who promptly drives into traffic and is nearly hit by an overzealous UPS man. But the gang suspects it's Amy working the mojo and perform their first spell to prove it. Amy goes home and is clearly dominating and controlling her mother. She works a spell on Buffy, who in the midst of the spell's power tells Xander how she really feels.
Well...
You are totally and completely one of the girls. I'm that comfy with him.
Giles takes Buffy to confront Amy's mom, and they come to find out it's really Amy herself.
Amy?
That's why the show is called Witch, and not The Witch. It's a pun, get it? Giles gets the necessary equipment to reverse the spell before getting knocked out by an angry rebodied Amy's mom. Amy's mom tries to curse Buffy, but the spell backfires, and she encases herself in her treasured trophy forever. Hopefully all the symbolism and growing up metaphors are obvious. The episode is about a parent literally reliving their glory days through their child. Interestingly, this is the first episode without a vampire. I liked how Twilight Zone-y the fate of Amy's mom was. The Twilight Zone remix actually plays throughout the cheerleading scenes. And can we all take a moment to appreciate this scene again?
Guess what? I feel better.
So awesome! But having seen every season a few times now, this episode in hindsight feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. The opening is hilarious, and had the episode occurred in later seasons, it might have turned into a scathing critique of conformity, or a soul-searching exercise in the value of responsibility. But at this point in the series, we don't know the characters well enough, and instead get an axe-wielding, body-swapped mama, and a drunk Buffy throwing a cheerleader through a wall. Wait. I guess that's actually pretty cool too.